You, you have been gripping something so tightly, convinced that your grip is what's holding it together. But what if the outcome was never in your hands to begin with? And what if that grip has been exhausting you, distorting your decisions, and costing you the clarity you desperately need? This is called the illusion of control bias. It's bias number 29 in our 225 plus bias series. My name is Cussons, Africa's premium high performance thinking and strategic execution expert. Now, the illusion of control is a tendency to believe that we have significantly more influence over outcomes, particularly random, uncertain, or uncontrollable events, than we actually do. A psychologist, Ellen Langer, first demonstrated this in 1975, showing that people consistently behave as though their personal involvement, skill, or actions can influence outcomes that are entirely or largely determined by chance, external forces, or variables completely outside their control. Now, this manifests in two powerful ways. Number one is we overestimate the impact of our actions on outcomes that have many other determining and adjoining factors. Number two, we underestimate the role of randomness, timing, market forces, other people's free will, and circumstances entirely beyond our reach. Now, nothing says you can't be motivated, you can't be determined, you can't be positive and believe that what you do will work. But as we go ahead, you see a little, you know, the subtle part to this. The result, yeah, is a life and a business built on delusion that if we just work harder, that more, and rather plan more carefully, now control more variables and refuse to release our grip, we can determine outcomes that were never ours to determine. Now, being determined and holding strong is not negative, but you're going to see where it can, you know, be a negative. So, that illusion, however comforting, is one of the most expensive beliefs a leader, an entrepreneur, and a human being can carry. And it manifests in lack of delegation, in lack of systemizing, in trying to be everywhere, every time, thinking that you must be there before something good happens. So in business, a founder has built a solid business over 6 years, hardworking, strategic, deeply invested. As the business grows, so does his need to control every decision, which was becoming impossible. Every hire must go through him. Every client communication requires his approval. Every strategy must originate from his table. Now, he tells himself this is diligence, this is standard, this is maintaining um, organizational quality, this is protecting what he has built. But what is actually happening is that the illusion of control has convinced him that the business succeeds because of his grip, rather than understanding that the business would scale despite needing to release it. So, his best staff, talented, ambitious, capable, they will begin to leave because no one can grow inside a space where one person controls every outcome. His growth plateaus. It didn't plateau because the market dried up. It plateaued because one pair of hands can only hold so much. It can hold so much. It can hold so many. He's working 18 hours a day, exhausted, isolated, and bewildered, sick, convinced that if he just tightens his grip further, the outcomes will improve. They will never improve. Why? Because the illusion of control has convinced him that the variable determining his business outcome is the one variable he already controls, himself. When in reality, the determining variables are the team he won't trust, the systems he won't build, and the market forces he cannot bend by willpower alone, and the system that he's not building. This also shows up in investment decisions. A trader develops a ritual, a specific chair, a specific time, a specific sequence of actions before placing trades. He genuinely believes these rituals influence his result. Even sometimes, instead of doing what we should do, we are betting it on maybe prayer instead of us working harder on the right thing. We have prayed, God has answered, but we keep going back to God for what He's given us power to walk on. Yeah. So in that investment, he generally believes these rituals influence his results. They don't, but the illusion of control makes him feel safer. And that feeling of safety prevents him from doing the real work of understanding actual market variables and what to do per time. The same in relationships. A woman loves her partner deeply, but lives in chronic anxiety about the relationship. She monitors his movement, his phones, he monitors everything. She engineers every conversation to steer toward the outcome she desires. She plans every date, every interaction, every environment, wants to follow him to everything, convinced that if she controls enough variables, she can guarantee that he stays, that he is happy, that the relationship is secure. The same for men. Humans are not machines. You can't control them. She's not controlling the relationship. She's exhausting it, exhausting herself, exhausting her partner, exhausting his partner, because the one variable she cannot control, and the only one that actually determines whether love stays, is his free will. You can't control his free will. You can't control her free will. His genuine choice, her genuine choice. His autonomous decision to be present and committed. Her autonomous decision to be present and committed and be in that relationship. No amount of engineering, no amount of manipulation, monitoring, planning, checking her phone or controlling substitutes for the one thing love actually requires. Yeah? So nothing substitutes for that thing love actually requires. Nothing. What does love require? Trust in another person's freedom to choose you. So the illusion of control in relationship doesn't create security. It ultimately creates the very instability, insecurity it was designed to prevent. And what's the fix? Or what are the fixes? 3 moves. Powerful, liberating, and immediately applicable. Number 1, separate the controllable from the uncontrollable. Separate the negotiable from the non-negotiable. And invest accordingly. Draw a simple 2-column, list like this, and you say one side, everything genuinely within your control. Write them down. Your preparation, your attitude, your response, your emotions, your systems, your communication, your consistency. Write them down. Then your response to outcomes. Now, on the other side, everything outside your control, the economy, other people's decisions, market timing, competitor behavior, free will, choice, random external events, war, force majeure, pour your energy ruthlessly into the first column, the things you can control. Release genuinely and deliberately everything in the second. This single discipline will eliminate the exhaustion of fighting battles that were never yours to win and redirect that energy towards variables that your effort can actually move. Number 2, in business, build systems and trust people. The antidote to the illusion of control in leadership is not abdication. It is intelligent delegation supported by robust systems, documented. Document your processes, train your team, build accountability, build structures, then release. The founder who builds a business that runs on systems and people rather than on his personal grip doesn't just scale faster. He builds something that has value beyond the presence, beyond his presence. A business that only works when you are controlling everything. It's not a business. It's a very expensive, very exhausting job that will kill you and destroy your health. So in relationship, replace control with trust and communication. The security you are trying to manufacture through control cannot be manufactured. It can only be built slowly, consistently through honest communication, demonstrated reliability, and the courageous decision to trust another person's freedom. Have the direct conversation instead of, engineering the environment. Express the need instead of controlling the outcome. Build the foundation instead of gripping the structure. Real security in a relationship is not the absence of uncertainty. It is the presence of trust strong enough to hold you through uncertainty. So here is one thing I want you to know. What I need you to sit with today in the quiet honesty of your own reflection. Sit and think about it. What are you exhausting yourself trying to control that was never yours to control? The market's response to your launch that you have prepared excellently for but cannot predetermine the client's decision. You cannot. The client's decision that you have pitched brilliantly but you cannot force. The economy's direction that you have planned around, but you cannot bend, especially the macroeconomic, indices. Your partner's feelings that you've invested in genuinely, but cannot manufacture. It's hard, it's his. So take control of that. Your child's choices that you have presented toward wisely, towards him wisely, you have also parented so that he or she can make the right choice. But you cannot make those choices for them. So the illusion of control is not a cognitive error only. It is a grief, the grief of a soul that has not yet made peace with the reality that we are not the authors of every outcome in our story, in our lives, in our relationships, in our businesses, in life. Some things may go the way you don't want it. Some things may go the way you want, better than the way you want them. So, releasing that illusion is not defeatist. It's not a defeat to you. It is not passivity. Yeah, that's the word. Passivity. Yeah, it's not passive. It's not being passive. It's not giving up. It is the most sophisticated, most mature, most powerful move a leader and a human being can make. Understanding you can't control everything. Control the controllables. Because when you stop spending energy on the uncontrollables, you suddenly have extraordinary, you suddenly have the extraordinary reserve for the controllables. In other words, when you stop wasting time with uncontrollables, you take that time and invest in the controllables, okay? And the controllable, when you execute them, the controllables, when well executed with full focus, yeah, full energy, full intentionality, is more than enough to start building everything you are dreaming of because you are investing in the things that matter. Grip what is yours to hold. Release what was never yours to carry. And watch what becomes possible in the space that opens up. My dear friend, this is bias number 29 of our 225 plus bias series. Now, the most powerful thing you will do today may be letting go of something you were never meant to hold. And I want to encourage you to share, comment, like, but also distribute with every leader, every entrepreneur, every coach, every person in a relationship who needs permission to release the grip. My question, When was the last time you trained the mind, you fed the mind that makes the money? Think about it. Click on the link below and be part of my masterclasses and my webinar series.